Hey guys, thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I'm going to start off by showing you the glass piece that I took out of the dollar store frame that I got. I'm going to use this to roll my clay on top of so the clay doesn't get stuck to my table. I used a piece of paper under the piece of glass that I was using so that if anything happens, it will at least add an extra layer of something soft between the table and the glass. And then I also chose pink and white clay to make these, and then I also end up using yellow at the end for the middle of the flower. So I used my clay acrylic roller to roll out the pink clay before I put the white in it so that it would help it maybe look a little bit more pastel. But I don't think I added enough white because they still ended up pretty vibrant, but I do love how they came out. Here's where I added the white, and I tried to use my acrylic roller to roll it together to try and give it like that pastel color that I was looking for, but it didn't end up working out. So I pulled it out and ended up using my fingers to knead it because the warmth of your hands helps a lot to keep the clay like usable and easy to move around and everything. So when I pull it off here, you can tell it's still really dark. So I just used my hands to just rub it all together and get that pink shade exactly what I wanted it to be. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about the series that I'm starting with this video. I'm calling it Trippy Tries, and I'm going to be doing earrings out of any material that you guys think I can make earrings out of. So far I've done epoxy earrings. That's like the main thing that I like to do. But now I'm reaching out to clay earrings, and with that I can mold literally anything that I want, and I think that I have so much more creative freedom. They have clay metal cutters that you can use to cut out the shapes of the earrings that you want, but I found these at the Dollar Tree that were only $1 for these stencils, and they literally made the perfect flower shape that I needed for the flowers that I wanted. So I just traced along the stencil. Then when I pull off the stencil, I decided to pull off the extra clay that was around the flowers that I had just cut out so that they were out of my way and everything. And then I spend a lot of time to smooth out all the flowers and everything because I did cut it with an X-Acto knife. So those aren't perfect all the time, but they did come out really smooth, and I ended up using this like smoother tool that has 2 dots on each end to help me smooth everything out. And then I also used my finger because the warmth on your fingers helps a lot to help smooth everything out. Here's a huge disclaimer really quick. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I think would be the best option for clay earrings, but not everybody uses a mold, not everybody uses a stencil. So this is just my steps that I took to making the clay earrings, and I just adore how they came out. So please stick around to the end to make sure you see the final result of them, because once they have the resin glaze on top, they are seriously so beautiful. So once I got all the flowers smoothed out, I decided to go ahead and take the yellow clay and roll that out. And I did have 2 circle cutters that I could use to cut out the circle for the middle of the flower. So that's going to be perfectly circle. Once I got the middle of the flower cut out, I decided to kind of score the middle of the flower so that when I put the yellow piece in the middle, it would have something to stick to. I didn't end up doing this to the bottom of the yellow piece that I attached just because my fingerprints would have totally ruined it. But I think that scoring the bottom of the flower before I put the yellow middle on definitely helped with keeping the 2 pieces secure. Also, when I added in the little yellow dot in the middle, it was kind of small, so I did use the acrylic roller to kind of roll out the yellow dot a little bit more so that it was bigger on the flower, because the score marks that I put on the flower before were a little too big, so I wanted to make sure that those got covered up. So for now, I'm using a small tool to make the dot in the clay before I put them in the oven because I don't have a drill for when they come out of the oven to make the hole. So I'm just gonna put one before I put them in the oven. And then when you bake your clay, they have instructions on the wrapper of each clay that you use. So you can just find out the instructions for baking through that. And then once I had them baked, I decided to use a layer of resin because that's what my business is about. I love resin and I definitely wanted to glaze these with resin. And I definitely think they came out so beautiful once they were glazed with resin. So now here's the fun part, and I decided to cut out the part of me measuring the resin out because it was a very, very long video with that in there and with everything in there, so I decided to just take that out. But basically I mix my part A and part B in equal measurements, and then I mix it very, very slowly. And then I did end up using the dollar store paintbrushes that I got for this craft, and I used those to glaze all the clay pieces that I had out. And as you can see, I did have a few that I tried before I tried the flower earrings because I wanted to test it out and not have like no idea what I was doing. But next time for the series, I will definitely be trying everything out firsthand. Like, you guys will see exactly what I'm doing right when I do it, but I didn't film it when I first tried all these. Once I got all of the resin layered on with the paintbrush, I let them sit all for 24 hours, and then I decided to add all of my hardware pieces to make them actual earrings, and then I show you the final result at the end. And if you guys like this series, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps me, and watch this video as much as you can because the watch time helps my channel so much. Also, if you guys want to see any more of this series and you guys have any suggestions for what I should do next, you guys can let me know in the comments down below. And this is me showing somewhat of the final result before the hardware's on, and you can tell how shiny that epoxy really is. It really brought out the colors of the flower and made them look so much better. So once I have the hardware on there, I show you exactly what they look like at the end. And I just wanted to thank you guys so much for everything you guys have been doing for me. Subscribing, liking, commenting, all of that is helping so much. And even checking out my Etsy. I have a shop there where I sell my resin goods, all my clay pieces, and many, many more. So thank you guys so much. Bye.